Shalom, 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 Yasha This your boy, Brother Shamwa Allah, back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called, Many There Be That Have Run Out of Their Wits for Women. Many there be that have run out of their wits for women. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. All right, another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right, like I said, today's lesson is going to be called Many There Be That Have Run Out of Their Wits for Women. Okay? And Salaki, I had looked up the word wits. Let me just look it up real quick. I'm looking it up on something else, so I'm just going to read the definition. Let's see. Wits, it means mental sharpness, right? And inventiveness, keen intelligence. All right. So mental sharpness, inventiveness, and keen intelligence. All right. And many have run out of their wits, right? Many men have run out of their wits for what? For women. All right. And just observing, seeing what's going on. An example I had was Jake, man. Jake is, driving through the neighborhood, man, blasting his R&B songs, man, his old school songs like "Baby I Want You Back" type, songs, and singing them to the top of his lungs, man, right? And you see, man, how this place, man, how Babylon has flipped everything, man. This place is totally flipped, right? And that's why these scriptures are beneficial for us, okay? Because, they help us to rule in order, all right? In the order that it's supposed to be, all right? So this is first Esdras, right? Chapter 4, verse 23. It says, Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers. It says, and looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness, and when he hath stolen, spoiled, robbed, he bringeth it to his love, right? To the woman. All right. A man will go through the most dangerous things for a woman, right? You think about it, you got, just in the world, man, Jake could go to the ops side of the area just for a woman, right? He'll venture through all that. All right, just for a woman. All right, a man will rob, steal, and bring it all back to a woman. Okay, it says, wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father and mother. It says, yea, many there be that have run out of their wits for women, and become servants for their sakes. It says, many also have perished, have erred and sinned for women. Okay, and we see, man, it's a lot of men that have been deleted, man, right? Or is doing time, all right, for a woman, for a woman, all right. Now the scriptures tell you, what is that? I think I have it up here. Let me get a Salakia. Let's get this real quick. The book of Ecclesiasticus, right? 36 and verse number 22, right? And it reads, it says, the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and the man loveth nothing better, right? A man don't love nothing better, man. A beautiful face walks past, right? And what happens? Hey, you lose your whole concentration, your whole thought, man, for the beauty of a woman. That's what a woman can do, man, right? And and understanding that, a woman can bring such joy, and yet a woman can bring such sorrow too, as well, you know. But the beauty of a woman, makes a man smile, man. Stop you in your tracks. You like, damn. But also a woman can bring that grief and that sorrow. All right. It says, let me jump down to verse 24 real quick. It says, "He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest." All right. So a woman, ultimately is supposed to bring rest to a man, right, and a comfort, right, stability. Get home, trials and tribulations, and you gotta something to come home to, man. A beautiful face to look at, or whatever. All right. But the scriptures also tell you, stumble not at the beauty of a woman. What is that? Sirach 25 and 21. It says, "Stumble not at the beauty of a woman, and desire her not for pleasure." All right, because a lot of those ones, man, they got it's the pretty face, pretty waist, and brings nothing but trouble at the end of the day, right? And you got men who, will conquer the whole world, right, just to please a woman. All right, that's why this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is so important. Okay, it's so important, to help rule, right? The scriptures tell us, Deuteronomy, what is that, 4:6? Yep. This is Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 5. It says, verse 5, it says, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahawah Bahasham Shai, my power, commanded me." Right? This is Moses talking to the children of Israel. It says, "that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it." It says, "Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes, and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." Right? This book, man, this book of knowledge, right, is our guidance to help us maneuver through. All right, to how to deal with everything, man. All right, that's why this book is so important, right? And we see what the lack of knowledge brings, man. Right, and like I said, just the example, man. You got Jake rolling through the neighborhood, man. With 12s, 12 subwoofers running around blasting R&B, "Baby Come Back to Me" songs, the whole nine. All right, and not understanding, ultimately the man is the prize. All right, but just understanding, the things, the scriptures, help guide and warn you, of things that are out there. All right. Remember, the things that are written aforetime were written for our learning. Okay. And this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is what helps guide us. And we see what that does, right? That lack of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, where that gets us at the end of the day. Let's go to Sirach. Right, so it said, many have run out of their wits for a woman. Okay, Sirach 25 and verse number 24. It says, "Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." All right, and just think about how many, like I say, how many women have said something and gotten men, man, deleted out of this place, man. Right? Man that went and confronted somebody else over something, and just all types of madness, man. Right? That's why we have to learn to move with wisdom, with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? And not into our own understanding. right? Because we see where that gets us, man. Okay, and of course, it's always, good for the beauty, right? But you should also be understanding what's in her heart. All right, what's in that woman's heart. All right, because that's really what's one of the most important things, right? I ain't gonna say beauty is not important, but beauty is definitely important. But what's inside, all right? Because you could have a beautiful woman, and guess what? And you just have a living hell, man. Or you could have a mediocre woman, and you have peace at home. You have food on the table, right? You have peace and quiet when you need it. You have that pillar of rest when you get home. Okay, so understand that it's not all about beauty, man. Hey, you need someone who can just sometimes be quiet, man. Right? Give you your space, do whatever it needs. You know what I'm saying? But just understand that, right? So I just wanted to go through that real quick. And the scriptures also tell you to what is that? Let's get this real quick. The book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 19 and verse 2, right? It says, wine and women will make a man of understanding fall away, and that cleaveth to harlots, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent, right? And we've seen that, man. We've seen many men fall away from this truth, man, because of women. All right? They're trying to put the woman ahead of all this stuff, man. That's why Paul said, basically, I would rather that you be like me, right? Because, this ministry is of course what's most important. But when you have a woman too, hey, you got to tend to that. Okay? You have to tend to that also. All right? But understanding, that, wine and women, right? And that's also too going into these philosophies, man, right? But wine and women will make a man of understanding to fall away. All right? And it says, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent. Okay, and we've seen that, man. Like physically, we've seen people just fall away, man, due to women. All right? Get bugged out due to women, do some crazy stuff, and people getting locked up. I mean, the whole nine, man, due to a woman. All right? That's why you got to be wise and circumspect in this time, man. All right? There's a time coming where, guess what? The scriptures say 7 women will cleave to one man, right? They're going to get in order, right? But right now, our focus, is to push this ministry, right? Those who are, who are able-bodied, right, to do this, right? You gotta stay focused on this stuff, all right? Because we've seen a lot of men fall out of this thing, man, all right? Due to a woman. And you see how a man's whole countenance will change, right? Not only will your countenance change for the beauty of a woman, but also, for the things that come out of her mouth, man, right? No one can slice and dice a man like a woman. She goes for that jugular. That's why the scriptures tell you, what is that? It's in the book of Micah. Let's get that real quick. Micah 7, verse number 5, right? It reads, trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. It says, keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom, right? You don't need to tell your woman everything, any and everything, man. She don't need to know everything, man. Just need to know basis, man. A lot of times men tell too much, and you see that even in the world, man. Right? And Jake in the world even knows that, right? And you don't tell too much of your business, right? Because, what's your boy's, boy E40, man, he said, never tell a woman all your business next day because she might be an eyewitness, right? You don't have to tell her everything, man. Sometimes you have to keep some stuff to yourself, man. All right? Understanding that, all right? And understanding that, you're not dealing with equal, right? You're dealing with the weaker vessel, right? That's that 1 Peter First Peter 3, verse number 7. It says, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered, right? But giving honor unto them as to a weaker vessel, understanding, right, that they move by emotions, all right? Women move by emotions, all right? Men are, that's not how we move, right? We move by this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right? That's our guidance, right? And we see how this society has flipped everything around. Well, now you have all these little monsters running around. Why? Because they're full of emotions, man. Because who have they been raised by? They've been raised by the women, right? Who are emotional, right? And you see the estate that's going on, right? You see that estate that's going on. That's why this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is so important. You know, what does it say? The book of Psalms, I believe. It's either Psalms or Proverbs. Let me see. Psalms 19. Okay. This is Psalms chapter 19, verse 7. It says, the law of Yahawah is perfect, converting the soul. It says, the testimony of Yahawah is sure, making wise the simple. Okay? So it takes a simple-minded man, like this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will make him wise. He'll know how to move, you know, in this world, man. You know how to move with women, okay? You young men, right? Read the book of Sirach, 25 and 26, man, before you look for a woman, man. Look for the things that you need to know, man. All right? Understand, right? And use this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding accordingly. All right? Because you see that a lot of men, what does it say? A lot of men have run out of their wits for a woman, man. Right? Flipped and turned everything upside down, man. All right? This is these scriptures, man, are to help us to stand, man, to stand, firm, right? We to be men out here, man. Okay. So, like I said, I just want to do this quick lesson, man. It was I just noticed it earlier today, and spoke about it, and you see, man, you see how the scriptures tell you, three things, in the book of First Esdras, I believe it is. It's wine, women, and the truth, I believe. Were the three things, but truth takes away the victory, man. And this truth, right, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding helps you to maneuver through all that stuff, man. Right, through the kings, right, through the wine, right, all this different stuff, man. It teaches you how you should be operating, okay, in these days. All right, so take heed to these scriptures, man. All right, because this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is supposed to be your wisdom in the sight of these nations. You see, and you see some of these other nations who use some of this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you see, how they operate, right? But our people are so destroyed that they don't do that, man, right? So, like I said, I just wanted to do this quick lesson. Lord's will, this was edifying, right? But with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect, the 12 tribes scattered abroad, a mighty shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who have ruled well through the Spirit. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there, man. Stay diligent, stay focused, right? Keep praying for one another, and utilize this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. All right? Because we see the examples, man. There's been many a men who have just run out of their wits, right, for women. All right? And with that, I'll say shalom.